DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Ooh! Mr. McD's dime? Oh no, I'm late! Life is like an aeroplane here in Duckburg.
It's the week of Monday, July 1st, and you're listening to episode 72 of DuckTalks. Welcome to a new episode of DuckTalks. Thank you for joining us this week. If you're new to the show, if this is the first time you've listened to us, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoy yourselves. If this is not your first time and you've come back, we're really appreciative of that. I know we've had a lot going on the last few weeks on the podcast, or let's say the last few episodes, because it's not been every week, we know. But, man, we've had some really great interviews. We have had some really great guests and friends on the podcast, and that's been awesome. This week, it's the three of us. We're just kind of chilling, doing our normal thing, and that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Before we get much further, let's say Happy Canada Day to all of our friends, Brian Danger, who are in Canada. I don't know, we might have other people in Canada who listen to us. Drop us a line and let us know. DuckTalksPod@gmail.com. But yeah, it's me. My name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. I've got Pirate Steven and Josh joining me again tonight.
Ahoy there. That's for Canada.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh man, it's been a great start to the week. I'm exhausted. We already started with our 4th of July celebrations. Sorry, Canada Day, we're moving on to July 4th. But we've already started our 4th of July celebrations last night, and we were out late. Thankfully, I was able to go into work late this morning, but I'm still recovering. You guys got big plans this week? Celebrating Canada Day?
Well, my neighbors have been celebrating 4th of July since Memorial Day, so we get fireworks every night, so that's nice.
Is that what that text was about?
Yeah. They like to go till like 1 a.m. It's not fun when you have to get up in a few hours after that, but I'm looking forward to 4th of July and then everybody running out of fireworks.
Yeah, I'm sure your dog Violet loves the fireworks.
Oh yeah, she's actually the one who gets scared the most out of them and wants to wake us up when it happens.
What about the neighbor's dog? The neighbor's dog hasn't made an appearance on the podcast in a while.
Oh, that's a long story.
Okay. For those who maybe haven't listened for very long, when we first started, we would be in the middle of a conversation and then just start having a dog bark. And I would try to edit out as much as I could, but it was Josh's neighbor's dog who would get excited and start barking. Yeah,
well, they've since have temporarily got rid of the dog. I'm not sure if it's going to be back, but they moved it to a new home just because it was they couldn't handle the dog. It was barking too much for them too, and so we're still undecided on if it's coming back or not.
Okay.
They said maybe it'll be back in a few months, but we're crossing our fingers just because we're enjoying the silence. Other than we're getting tons of fireworks now.
Well, those should end, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time I've lived this far out in the county in a number of years, so I'm interested in seeing how many fireworks we will experience this week. The girls and I are actually planning a camp out on the 4th of July. We've got a tent that we bought on Amazon Prime Day a couple of years ago that we've not taken out yet. So we're going to take it out in the backyard and have a 4th of July sleepover outside.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Roast some marshmallows, tell some ghost stories, be back in bed by 8 o'clock. Because they won't sleep out there all night, I'm sure. Well, I got the notes open, so let's jump into some duck discussion. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
The first thing we have on our agenda for this week, other than the introduction, check, is that we would talk about the theme song takeover.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, last year during the summer we had several different DuckTales shorts episodes that aired during the summer and appeared on Disney Now, and that was a good way to when there was an episode, just catch up on DuckTales. And then out of the blue, we have a Launchpad theme song takeover where he sings a song. It was hysterical. They did such a great job on it.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. We didn't know it was coming, but when I saw it, like I hadn't even know they were even doing this type of thing, and it's so funny, kind of the behind the scenes of what was going on in the intro of the show.
Yeah, it was one of those moments for me where I was really close to a break at work, and someone either shared it in our Discord or sent it as a message to us on Twitter. I can't remember which one. But as soon as I saw it come up and it was like Launchpad sings, I was like, break, I gotta go. And I went to my closet.
Your work closet. Yeah, Beck Bennett does a fantastic job singing the song, and it's something I just put on repeat and I just listened to during work that whole day, and it was hysterical. No matter how many times I watched it, I laughed.
And I've gone back and forth on whether or not I would put the audio in the podcast this week to kind of share maybe a small portion of it. And I still might. There might be a little clip here at the beginning or something. But you really can't appreciate it fully without the animation. Because, and I've not seen all the other takeovers, but I thought it was brilliant that Launchpad just happens into the opening. And everything that happens, he's just kind of interacting with it and singing it. It was very Launchpad-like. I don't know if all the others have done it that way or if they've just kind of rewritten the theme songs, but Launchpad reacting to the opening theme was genius. And I'll include a link in our show notes so that people can go and watch the video if they haven't seen it yet, or if they're realizing at this moment that it's been a while since they've seen it, they can follow that link and watch it.
I think there was even a little bit of a, I guess, what's the word? I'm blanked out on the word I was looking for, but they referenced some of the original show a little bit in this, where there's one part where Launchpad is running and then the ground's kind of like falling off.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
In the original, where I guess it was off of the first episode in DuckTales. I want to say Son of the Sun, but that's the comic, right?
That's the comic. Yeah, no, they include that in the theme, though, to the original DuckTales.
It's in the original theme. Yeah, where the Scrooge and the one conquistador guy is like running in the actual intro. Mm-hmm. That part was kind of like in there, kind of hidden. And I don't know if you guys noticed that or not.
They had that someone made a Darkwing Duck one from the Duck Knight Returns, which was pretty.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, the trailer, like an intro trailer, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Let me correct that. I know it wasn't the Discord because as I'm looking at her notes, I see that Ella Anders was actually the person who sent it to us on Twitter when comicbook.com first shared it with the shortest exclusive in the history of the internet. I mean, come on, it was like what? 5 minutes, and then Disney Channel was sharing it.
Yeah, I think that was they shared it too quickly. I think.
Do you think the Disney Channel shared it too quickly, or do you think comicbook.com didn't actually have an exclusive?
Who could blame? It's exciting. The theme song takeovers are great, though. I know I've seen Phineas and Ferb had one, and it was Alex Hirsch singing as Grunkle Stan, the theme song for Phineas and Ferb. It's hysterical. You need to look that up on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. The other one that is familiar with me is a recent one where Dr. Doofenshmirtz is doing the Milo's Murphy Law theme song, and I think they're very entertaining take on the song. So Launchpad fits in very well with those.
Yeah, I need to check those out. I've heard about them, but I've not seen them. I'm going to do that tonight. In other news, DuckTalks got a YouTube channel.
What? Am I doing the what?
Wait, what? No, we've this has been a project that we've been trying to do. I think it was Aaron Sparrow was the first person. We had already created a YouTube channel. We just weren't doing much with it. And Aaron said, listen, there's a lot of people who listen to podcasts on YouTube, but they don't, use podcatchers or anything. He goes, and he told us he did. So anyway, I came back to the guys. I was like, we got to work on the YouTube. And so I started trying to upload stuff, and I didn't know what I was doing, and it was taking me forever. And so Josh took it over. And so Josh was doing an excellent job. And then Josh's family expanded. Yeah. And we got a little behind. And hey, we've always said this is an outward expression of our fandoms. And sometimes fandoms take a backseat to family. and that's kind of our motto or a mantra that the three of us have. Our family comes first, then this. Sorry, guys. We love y'all. But this is something fun that we do, and we enjoy doing it. But at the end of the day, we got to take care of the family. And but Josh is, man, you've been working hard on the YouTube channel for a few weeks. Yeah,
so I've been trying to bring the old podcasts that we had from the very beginning out to kind of build the channel up. But it's been taking a while. We're up to 70-something episodes now, and so I've been slowly doing that, and I had some computer issues, and so now I've got that worked out, and I've been pumping them out a few podcasts a day. So if you listen to podcasts more regularly on YouTube, check them out. I'm putting them in order right now from the very beginning. So I'm putting out the episodes that are currently coming out, but then I'm working on in order the older episodes. So hopefully in a few weeks they'll all be built up, and you can listen to them in order. I'm going to make a playlist for them. And so I'm pretty excited about everything we're doing right now on YouTube. And I think we got a few ideas of what to do after uploading all the podcasts. So check it out. Look at the channel, subscribe, like, share, whatever you got to do. But yeah, definitely check it out because we're excited. We have some upcoming things we're going to hopefully do.
Yeah, and you put like the last 4 episodes up as well. So some of the more recent stuff is on there. And then you started with the back library, which is kind of embarrassing to tell you the truth. But no, I'm glad it's going to be there. I think it's going to allow a whole new group of people to find the podcast and the fandom. It's really cool. We talk about it on here. It's very cool when someone who really loves Disney Ducks and maybe hasn't been involved in any of those fandoms, because there's a lot of different ones that we found, but they find that there's one, and I think we're kind of odd, guys. We kind of like all of it, and I see there's kind of these segments and these groups that are just like, we just like this and we just like that, and we're only for this narrative, and we don't like this show, or we don't. And nobody likes Quack Pack. That's, everybody agrees on that. But there's this one guy going, wait a minute, wait, what? But anyway, we like it all. I've not watched Quack Pack yet, so I can't say that I don't like it. I might.
Didn't you buy it on DVD? I
have it on DVD. It's still in the plastic.
Well, it's not. It's not going to go up in value, Mitch. You can open it.
I'm hoping it's like the old E.T. video game.
Of course, if they put it on Disney Plus, then you won't have to open it, and you can have that classic packaging for your collection. But you know what? I say break it open, let your kids watch it, and give us a review on it.
Well, that's been the plan, and every time I've gone to watch it, something has happened, and I've not been able to. I'm going to get to it. But what I was saying is it's really fun when someone finds that there's a community that's kind of supportive of whatever you like in the DuckTales Disney Duck fandom. And, with the YouTube channel, that's going to give us a lot of opportunities to do other things. I know people who follow us on Twitter have seen some of the videos that Pirate has made, and some of the videos that Josh has made, and they've done some really great stuff on there, and that's on the YouTube channel. Some of it's already on there, and some of it's to come. I was telling the guys earlier before we started recording that I was taking a look at the YouTube at our YouTube channel on our TV, and I came across that Perfect Strangers video again. And man, that thing's just perfect. It looks like an actual television show that would exist. And of course, that's got us thinking of some other ideas. I watch that thing and giggle.
And I want more Storkules because we've only have seen them in 3 episodes now. Mm-hmm. We need more Storkules and Donald Duck together.
Yeah, nothing encourages us more than seeing more subscribers and likes and like Josh said, sharing it, because we have some really dumb videos on there. And if you want more dumb videos, let us know, and we'll comply. And we're working our way to get one of those plaques with the play buttons on it. Do they give those out for like 100 subscribers or something?
I hope there's one for 100 subscribers.
Maybe we'll get a sticker for 100.
And now for something totally different. How about some Duck merch?
Duck merch. Woo!
Man, I'm so excited about Duck merch this week. You know I am. I sent this blog out just minutes before we started the podcast. I went and showed my girls, and they did a little, dance and scream, high-pitched. It was horrible. It was so awesome. And, of course, I immediately had to order one of these T-shirts. There is an officially licensed Team Webby T-shirt for girls. Now, it sizes like 3T through 8. So, it's for little girls, is who it's, the listing has it down for. But it's a cool shirt. I really liked it. I'm impressed with this being her first real merch. Other than the Disney Store did that thing with that other company where they were producing shirts that you could kind of customize the color and stuff. But this has Webby and, her glitter journal, and there's like a dinosaur sticker and stuff, but it says "Good one, new best friend," and it's got a little DuckTales emblem on it. It's a nice looking shirt. Looking forward to getting it. Paisley wanted it, so we'll do a review on it and get that on the website. But we did blog about it. The shirt, like I said, it's only 3T through 8. We've already had a number of people respond that they were disappointed that it didn't come in. I think someone said big girls, and I said I'm disappointed it doesn't come in big boys. But $13.95 is the price tag on this over at Amazon.com. If you go to our blog, you can use our link, and we haven't said this in a while, so we're going to go ahead and throw it out there. Anytime you use our links, we're affiliated with Amazon through their affiliation program, and we actually get a little bit of a commission or a spiff, if you will, on anything you purchase after following that link. So it helps the podcast. It does not impact your bottom dollar because you don't pay any extra. It's just something Amazon's willing to do for websites that will send them, shoppers. So we participate in that. It helps pay for. I bought some buttons recently that we can take to conventions and hand out. I'm going to have them at DragonCon and at Fanboy. And then we've also got a few other things that we're working on that's going to be really important for our podcast. And I am currently getting a text right now from some weirdo. And there's another shirt on Amazon.com that I apparently missed.
Yeah, you're too busy just looking at girl shirts for yourself. But there's actually a boys kid sizes. It doesn't have to be boys, but it does have Team Huey, Dewey, and Louie on it. Same thing, $13.95, officially licensed by Disney as well. So we'll blog about that so everybody can see that one.
Yeah, and what's funny is when I showed the girls the shirts, they were excited, and I told them, I was like, well, we'll go ahead and order them, and Lexi goes, I'm kind of disappointed it's not Team Dewey. So, who knows? I may end up ordering this for her. We've been waiting on this kind of merchandise.
It's good to see more DuckTales 2017 stuff. Yeah, we definitely have you covered for DuckTales merch. We are nonstop searching Amazon, JCPenney, Target, the usual suspects for DuckTales or Duck Space Tales, and finding whatever we can find because you're consumers just like us, and we want to share the wealth of spending money on all this stuff. So Definitely. And like I said, the more you buy, the more they make. So more merrier.
Speaking of which, that's probably a good segue to something that I don't have in the notes. People following us over on Twitter probably saw some posts from me about some deals, and then it sparked some conversations about what some of these stores are. And we've heard this for a couple of weeks now, but it's not been we've not heard it a lot, but I've heard other people now say they're seeing it as well. The Fat Mojo DuckTales toys, both the action figures and the little figurines, are showing up in your discount closeout stores. So my wife came across a number of items at a bargain hunt, which I didn't even know existed. Is a chain of stores that sells closeout stuff. And then Tuesday mornings, that's another store. I actually picked up the San Diego Comic-Con gold figurines for $4 at a Tuesday mornings. I passed up trying to get someone to get these for me, but surprised to find them at the Tuesday morning. And someone mentioned another one. I'd meant to take note of that. But, I mean, these are stores like your TJ Maxx and your Marshalls that maybe, I don't know if they're larger or smaller chains, but I mean, if you got a closeout store in your area, it might be worth swinging by and seeing if they have anything. I picked up a Donald Duck action figure, which Target rarely had. Donald Duck action figures from the Fat Mojo line. I also picked up a Launchpad.
Yeah, I got a Huey Fat Mojo talking plush the other day at one of those closeout outlet places for like $2. So Target, whenever they have overstock on something or they're trying to get it off the shelves, they'll send it to these places. So definitely check it out if you're interested in finding any of that older Fat Mojo stuff.
And let us know if you find something so we can share it. That way, I know a number of people said that they didn't have a bargain hunt or they didn't have a Tuesday mornings. So, maybe if you shared it and you've got a Five Below and suddenly they've got DuckTales stuff, then, we can share that. Maybe other people also have Five Belows and go check them out. Hey, it's the return of a segment that hasn't been here in a while. Beyond DuckTales is our adventure through the comics that have inspired DuckTales, both old and new. We started off by reading all of Don Rosa's work through the Fantagraphics volumes. Fantagraphics has been so amazing to partner with us and to provide us with digital copies to read these stories and to be able to share. We've been able to provide reviews and kind of share with Duck fans when the new volumes are coming out and when they begin reprinting. We actually learned this recently that some of the volumes had been printed previously and they were so popular that they sold out, and Fantagraphics has gone around and started reprinting them. I think it's the first 2 volumes of Don Rosa. The Don Rosa library is supposed to be reprinted soon, so we'll definitely cover that as that's happening as well. But in Beyond DuckTales, we take some time from the podcast to talk about one of these volumes, and we recently started going through the Carl Barks library. And with the Carl Barks library, it's a little bit different because they started with some of his more well-known stories, starting with volume. Pirate knows all this information better than I do, and they're working their way around. They started like not in the middle, but toward the front, and they're working their way back around. And that's kind of what we did. We started with volume 5. We've done 5, 6, and 7. So this is volume 8.
Volume 8 is titled Trail of the Unicorn, which is one of the stories from this volume. And it's a very solid volume. I mean, it has 21 different Disney Duck stories by the great Carl Barks, and whether you buy it digital, which fits nicely on your iPad or your other devices, or if you buy it hard copy to put on the shelf, they look great next to each other. And 21 stories, 200 and something pages. So 224 pages.
Yeah, one of the things that I can say about this is I've been reading these digitally, and I've really enjoyed it. I read digital comics for years. Recently got back into the printed comics, but I was doing digital for a long time. And so something I was used to, and I really enjoy it on my iPad because, it's about the same size as a comic book page, so it doesn't feel that much different. But when Don Rosa's Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck was released by Fantagraphics, I picked up Pirate did too. We picked up the physical copies of that book. And let me say, it's just gorgeous. I mean, the material that they use, the printing, the pages, they're a good heft. You know what I mean? They're not too thin, they're not too thick. And they kind of got that really, they're textured, they're nice. And they're vibrant, they're beautiful. I love just flipping through that book. Even though I've got, that collection on digital, and I've actually got the original comics now too. I love that printing in that volume, and it really makes me want to collect all of these now.
Yeah, Mitch described it very well. He actually sleeps with that book at night. But
no,
yeah,
it's on my nightstand. I give it a kiss before I climb into bed.
Yeah, it's a great addition, and we definitely recommend that one for sure.
So, talking about some of the stories in this volume, The Trail of the Unicorn definitely was one of my favorites, but I wanted to point it out. One, it's on the cover, so it helped people find it. It's also the name of the volume. It's also a plus. But we, being a DuckTales podcast, with the most recent iteration of DuckTales, with the reboot, we've had unicorns in the show a couple of times already. They've been mentioned and they've been seen, and we know from a clip that we got in a promo there's more unicorns to come. But it's really cool that this story from Carl Barks is the inspiration behind that character being attached to DuckTales. And it's a really great story of how Scrooge hires Donald to go catch him a unicorn.
Yeah, and this is the only Carl Barks story that I know of that has a unicorn. So this would be where that source material would have come from for the other Band of Scrooge McDuck episode.
It also has Gladstone in it, and boy, Gladstone and Donald did not get along at all in the beginning. I think we talked about that in Volume 7. Those Gladstone Donald comics are pretty rough with how they treat each other. But this is a great story, and I know with people listening to this who maybe haven't read the comics, and I know we're going to hear from people who have, because they love talking about them too. But for those who haven't read the comics, but you're interested in, I really enjoy DuckTales. What's some comics that I could read that would, I might have a connection to already? This is one of those. Because in the new show, Scrooge has a unicorn that he's keeping. It's not in a zoo, like in this comic, but he's keeping it in the other vault. Spoilers if you've not seen that episode from season 1. But we kind of see how Donald and the boys caught it in Carl Barks' story. And like Pyra said, it's the inspiration behind the fact that unicorns are in the show. So I think that's cool.
Another one I really enjoyed was Rip Van Donald, which is another story about how the boys trick Donald into thinking he slept into the was it the 80s or something, or the 90s. So you get to see what Carl Barks in 1950 something thought the 80s and 90s would look like.
Yeah, that was fun because the boys are trying to convince Donald that they're in a helicopter or some kind of they're just talking about transportation and how it's changed, and they're talking about how the city's made of rubber to deal with earthquakes and stuff, and it's really funny, and it's a great story.
There's also a bunch of different, and Carl Barks has so many classic Disney Duck stories with this family and Christmas, and this one is definitely filled with those as well.
Yeah, and one of my favorites was Super Snooper, and I think that was one of my favorites because of some of the commentary in this volume and also from other accounts that I've heard about Carl Barks. And Super Snooper, Donald ends up with some spiked medicine that gives him superpowers for a short period of time. And it's funny because the kids were into, superhero comics, and so Donald's kind of playing off of that. Now he's a real superhero, and things don't work out for Donald as usual, but it was kind of a commentary that Barks was making on the culture of comics, and is still true to this day about how much superheroes and those type of stories really dominate the medium, to the point that growing up we didn't read these comics just because just to be honest, I thought they were kids comics, and I thought I was too old for them. But really, reading them as an adult, I was never too old for these. Not only that, my kids do enjoy it when I read them to them. So that's one of the things I really like about Carl Barks' work, and Don Rose's. I think Rose's was maybe a little more mature in some areas, but these are great. And we're not going to go through all these. I think we say that every time. We could sit here and talk about how great each of these stories were. These volumes are a great value, and I think that's one of the things that we want to stress. We recently went through trying to collect single issues of Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, and you can easily pay, depending on the deals that you could find. I mean, some of those issues were $10+, and some of those issues we got a really great deal and got them in a bundle. But if you were to try to compile these 20-something stories, you're going to end up with a lot of issues, and you're not only are you going to end up with issues trying to get them, but you're going to end up with a lot of comic book issues, and those it's going to have a pretty hefty price tag. But you can get these from Fantagraphics at a reasonable price. Even what are they regular? $39.99. But most of the time on Amazon, you can find them closer to $20.
Yeah, the Carl Barks ones are really great value as well. I think we have to bring up that you recently told Don Rosa about your accomplishment of completing the single issues, and he's like, "Why would you do that? Just buy them in Fantagraphics."
Yeah. Oh man, he crushed it. He crushed me. I did. Over on Facebook, we are members of the Don Rosa, I don't know what it's called, Facebook page, Facebook group, whatever. And I posted that I finally did it. I collected all 13 issues plus a few other stories that I wanted. And so here's my collection. It's probably complete. I don't know that there's anything else I need to have, but here's what I did. And, people congratulate and everything. And then Don Rosa comes around and is like, "Why would you do this? Don't you know that these are horrible quality? You could buy them better from Fantagraphics." And I was like, "Yeah, I know that. I have those." But I also wanted to own them individually just because I'm a fan of these stories. And that's what it's about. I'm a collector, so I wanted to collect them. But yeah, man, he burned me good.
Yeah, he was like, "All right, whatever. Your money."
Yeah. But he also said, he said, unless you're just doing it for fun, in which case I completely agree with, because I've been collecting comics for fun for a number of years. And I think he was just stating there's no value in these books. What you paid for them is, that's not where their worth is. And that's not where their worth is to me. I mean, of course I was trying to find good deals, but sometimes I paid a little more than I wanted, especially on those issues that don't have covers. We've got to talk about that sometime. But yeah, this is a great value. Buying them from Fantagraphics is a great value, and I own some of these. I'm going to own more of them in the future, and whether you buy them digitally or physical copies, they're great value.
What does Josh think?
Josh, what do you think about the value?
I think they're great value. Just had time to read them.
Hey, they work really great for nap and bedtime. But Paisley usually stops me, and she goes, "Keep reading, but you're going to have to start this one over tomorrow night."
Oh. You're like, "No, it's a one-time thing."
No, I just pay attention until she goes to sleep. Volume 9 is The Pixelated Parrot. We'll be talking about that. We're going to try for in a couple of weeks, really with all the guests and all the stuff that we've done with having friends on and then taking, breaks for vacations and stuff. It's been really hard to get to these, but we're going to get back on track. I know Pirate's been doing reviews based on releases, and so he's ahead of us, and so he's probably taking a little more effort for him to draw from these because he's been waiting on me. And but yeah, Volume 9 is the next one, Pixelated Parrot. If you don't have it, you want to follow along with us, you can check out our review that we have on DuckTalks.com. There's an Amazon link. I haven't checked out the recent price, but they're typically about $20. And you can do that. Or you could go over to Comixology, or actually Amazon sells the digital from that link too. Ooh. And but you could do that and read it digitally. Or if you already have some of the stories.
The best value is Fantagraphics has a lot of value packs.
Yes.
So they might sell Volume 5 and 6 together, and 7 and 8, and 8 and 9. And it's usually about $30 for 2 books. So that brings it down even cheaper to $15 a piece.
There you go. Pick up 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. I think it's always 8 and 9 should be. Or no, it would be the odd first, so it would be 9 and 10. But yeah, we'll try to get to it in a couple of weeks. Let's see. We've got a couple of things we wanted to talk about, and we're going to wrap this thing up. San Diego Comic-Con's coming up quick. July 18th through the 21st. We are almost there. We've been anticipating this. The last 2 years, there's been a lot of excitement around DuckTales and San Diego Comic-Con within the fandom. It looks like this year will be no different.
Yeah, the DuckTales panel is going to be at San Diego Comic-Con again, like Mitch just said, and I'm repeating. This will be the 3rd year that they've had a panel, and it's been big. And for the people that get to go there, they'll get to see usually previews of future episodes, as well as characters that you might be able to see in the current season or future seasons. So definitely cool to be there for that. And we hear from Frank that there might be a cool poster this year. So something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, that poster kept me up all night after he tweeted that, trying to think about what it could be. I even went so far as to write this really elaborate blog on it, where I went through a bunch of things that were kind of off the wall that it would be, and I decided against posting it for obvious reasons if you pay attention to Disney Twitter. But we did want to point out that the Disney Channel PR, the Twitter account, posted 3 days ago that Ben Schwartz, Bobby Moynihan, Kate Micucci, Paget Brewster. Also joining them will be the producers Matt Youngberg and Frank Angones. I'm just kind of looking at the information on the tweet. Looks like they will be there Friday, July 19th at 11:45 on the dot. You better be lined up at 6 a.m. in room 6A. And I'm just kidding about the 6 a.m. I don't know anything about San Diego Comic-Con. Have you?
I know if I was there, I would get there at 4 a.m. just to be sure.
4 a.m. to be sure?
I mean, for a poster, it better be a really good poster.
Well,
the poster better flap in the night, and it better be pretty awesome.
Well, last year they had money stacks under their seats too, didn't they?
Ooh, they have something for them.
Yeah, they had Fat Mojo money stacks under their seats, I think.
Yeah, money stacks, and I think the cast gave away some of the limited edition gold ones as well.
Oh, man. That would have been a fun time. It's great. I mean, San Diego Comic-Con is hard to get into from what I understand, as far as tickets go on sale and sell pretty quick. This is solely based on an episode of Big Bang Theory that I watched one time. I know nothing about trying to get tickets to go to San Diego.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different exclusives. The New York Comic-Con is getting just as big as San Diego Comic-Con, I feel like. But the people that go there, and there's a lot of jealousy for the people that get to go there and get the exclusives and to see everything. But it's a lot of work. So they definitely deserve whatever they are able to get and see. And you know what? I'm going to find that poster on eBay. I will find it.
I have almost bought the last 2 posters. I've come close.
And there's going to be an autograph session afterwards, so people can get that poster signed. And they're doing a lot more at San Diego Comic-Con than they are at D23 a month later. They're only really doing, or what's been announced so far, is an autograph session with the voice of Louis and the voice of Agent 22, Mrs. Beakley. And I'm just for everybody's listening pleasure, I'll have Mitch say her name.
I believe it's Tokes Ogule.
Oh, he's been practicing. Yes,
That's pretty good.
Bobby Moynihan and Tokes will be there for an autograph session at D23.
I'm kind of disappointed that there's going to be less of a presence this year at D23 because that's like the Disney Expo. I mean, I'm still excited to see what we're going to be getting. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some season 3, I guess, characters that they're planning to announce. But I am a little bit disappointed this year that there's just only going to be a meet and greet at D23. But they could always post something coming up that hasn't been announced yet. So it's a possibility, but I think the San Diego Comic-Con is going to be the DuckTales ticket this year.
Yeah, we need a season 4 announcement. I mean, Big City Greens just finished writing their 100th episode, and we're nowhere near that. So, yeah, I feel like we need here's my speculation. I believe that we'll get a season 4 announcement, which I don't think is too much, too big of a thing. And then I feel like the second announcement might be that Launchpad might be leaving DuckTales. So,
womp womp. Where
Why
would he
do
go,
that?
though?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I mean, we're going to speculate a little bit, right?
Yeah, it could be like, oh, Launchpad's leaving Duckburg. Oh, and you hear the whole crowd. Boo. And then, because he's going to St. Kennard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Drake Mallard pulls up on a motorcycle and is like, "Hey, LP, you ready to go?"
Right?
That would be the dream right there.
We're speculating. This is all speculation. This is our moment as fans to talk about what we really hope to see at San Diego Comic-Con, and I am 100% on board with the announcement of a Darkwing Duck series. That would be amazing.
And you said it all along. I mean, and no one has not agreed with you that it feels like the Duck Knight Returns was a pilot episode. So, you know what? San Diego Comic-Con would be a great time to announce a expansion in the Disney Afternoon universe. We got DuckTales. Let's get some Darkwing action in there, and then we'll go on from there. Get some Goof Troop and Gargoyles and Mighty Ducks and Bonkers and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Well, I have a speculation for what they would announce. This is pure speculation. Just nothing really to support this other than my own hopes. But I am hoping that since we saw that Jaime, was his name Jaime Camil? Is that how you say his name? That did.
Jaime Camille.
Yeah, Jaime Camil. So he's back in the studio doing some more voiceover work. I am hoping that they may do what they did with Darkwing and start kind of introducing Baloo for a little bit of a tailspin inclusion into DuckTales. That's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I can see that as well, and I would really welcome that. I mean, if we're not going to get a spin-off series yet, and I'm going to use the word yet because I feel it. If we're not going to get a spin-off series yet, and they do introduce more characters, I don't think we're going Goofy right away. I don't know that Goofy's off the table, but I don't think we're going to get Max and PJ yet. I don't think Rescue Rangers are coming because there's other things going on with Rescue Rangers and Chip and Dale at the moment. Gargoyles seems like if they were to have it in the show at this point, it'd be very different than what people would expect. I don't know that we want Gargoyles introduced that way. Seems like a totally different type of show. Now, they could definitely go Mighty Ducks. You could fit in some, other universe hockey-playing, freedom-fighting ducks. I think they could do that. It would actually make more sense in the DuckTales universe than in that show's universe. I mean, not make more sense, but it definitely had a Howard the Duck kind of vibe. But definitely Tailspin fits. We've already had that being built. We've seen what happened. St. Canard got mentioned. Darkwing got mentioned. Darkwing is shown. Darkwing ends up in show. Big plot twist. Brand new Darkwing. Everybody's happy. It was genius. We also had Cape Suzette mentioned. We've seen the Sea Duck on a pamphlet for Cape Suzette, or at least a Sea Duck. I honestly don't think they would go with the exact same design because that was spot on. I would anticipate we'd get something kind of a little more animated, cartoonish, like the Cloud Slayer, aka the Sun Chaser. But I think it works, man. It's time to see Hire for Hire. If it's not a series announcement, yeah, I'm all for that being the next thing.
I feel like they've kind of alluded to Cape Suzette more than anything else in this show, and so it feels like it could be a natural progression towards introducing those characters. And if we get more Don Carnage, to me it seems like it's going to be a possibility.
I think they would go more, instead of bringing up Baloo or Louie or somebody. I think they would go Shere Khan, or not so much the main characters. They'd probably go more secondary.
It's been a while. I remember at one point bringing up Shere Khan as a villain for DuckTales. That would be perfect. I mean, I want Baloo and Becky and Kit and all of them to show up in the show as well. And I kind of feel like you got to introduce them first and then have Shere Khan raise the stakes and then have a story where all of them are involved. I think that would be good. But you know what? This show has so many twists, and they plan so far out. There's no telling what they have planned for. I would anticipate this would be a story that would actually, maybe we get Don Carnage and a little more Cape Suzette, a little more maybe other characters like Shere Khan or Baloo or some of them in this season, and then next season we get an episode with them or something. But if they were to do it, this is our speculation moment. We're just talking about how we think it could happen. Obviously, they've got it already mapped out. It's coming in a couple weeks or in a couple months. Well, I think that's all the speculation we have for tonight. It's getting kind of late, and we've gotten through all the notes. But if you'd like for the conversation to continue, you can always join us on Twitter at DuckTalks. You can find us at Tumblr, DuckTalks Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm there every now and then. Search for DuckTalks Podcast. You can find us individually on Twitter. I am at Infinirama616.
I am at the Pirate Steven.
And you can find me at CCRunner524.
If anything we said sparked some interest, you'd like to discuss it, definitely hit us up on Twitter, send us a message, or tweet, I guess is what we should call it. And we love having these conversations there, so we'll continue the conversation. If you have any comments on the podcast, you'd like to send us any suggestions or questions, you can do that at ducktalkspod@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify. And, of course, we're also on your favorite podcatchers. So if you've not subscribed, please do that. And if you enjoyed yourself, how about giving us a review or a rating and allowing others to find our podcast so that they can join the community as well. I think that's going to do it, guys, unless you've got anything and you scream right now to stop me. Until next time.
Stay glom golden.
Good night, guys.
What was it? Are you waiting for me to say goodnight?
Yeah, that's what you usually say.
No, you may not have a good night.
Good night, guys.
No good
Night,
night
guys.
for you. He's still not going to do it. He's like, I'm holding
Oh,
it.
I did. Okay. Good night, guys.
What if it's during the day when they're listening to it?
There's still light outside.
Oh, not for me. DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders.